Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at your weekend forecast for September 6th through the 8th. And things are looking pretty good this weekend. Not amazing because we do have a round of showers. It looks like it'll move through tomorrow, mostly in the afternoon, but just in terms of like not being perfect weather. But otherwise, today's really nice. Sunday's pretty nice, a little chilly on Sunday after the front moves through, but basically okay in many ways. All right, so here's what's going on. We do have a bit of a system that's sort of been developing. Not really tropical in nature, but also not entirely not tropical in nature. But it's going to go to our east, and it's not a problem anyway. What will cause a few hiccups is this it's a front that actually has a pretty good temperature difference behind it, but is not doesn't have a ton of moisture associated with it currently. And so that system will come through tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about timing in a little bit, but basically, that's our rain chance for the weekend before we then get into another long stretch of dry weather. Let's take a quick look at radar. You can see some showers and even a few heavier showers associated right along the front, but not extensive or anything like that. And this will continue as the system sweeps to our east. The low pressure associated with it and the more steady rain is way to our north, so we do not need to worry about that. But it will usher in behind this cooler air and a little bit of a couple of days of cooler air, kind of moderating a week next week that probably looks quite a bit like this week looked in terms of weather, with a lot of dry air and temperatures cool at nights, warm during the days, and kind of warming generally, a general warming trend through the week. Let's take a look at what's going on kind of across the rest of the tropics. We always kind of keep an eye on that this time of year. Things have kind of gotten a little more active, even though we still have no current tropical storms and not anything that's likely to become one overly rapidly. We've kind of a weak system, a little bit of a wave of low pressure here that may develop, also may not. We do have a broad area of circulation here across just north of the Lesser Antilles. Again, that's actually usually not real good for tropical development, although if these storms kind of stick around long enough, sometimes they can coalesce into something. Doesn't look overly likely. Another wave here that's kind of dying out, and here there's a little potential in all these, but nothing too dramatic currently. That's a good thing. We are in the heart of tropical storm season. The water here is very warm. There's no reason except for synoptic conditions that we wouldn't be having lots of tropical systems develop. The longer those synoptic conditions can stay as they are, basically where the wind shear has been relatively high, the better we are off, because obviously the pump is very much primed otherwise, and we're kind of in an unusual setup here where we've got La Nina. Usually that means a good synoptic setup, but it has not this summer, which has been a good thing, obviously. There has been a couple, obviously early in the season, we've had a couple tropical systems already, but in terms of right now, not much going on. That's a good thing because, again, everything else in terms of ingredients is there for some significant storms, but nothing going on. That's good. We'll keep hoping that happens. I want to just take a quick look at dew points. You can see we really have moved the humid and kind of summer-like air, for the most part, out of the country. A little bit associated just right along the front there is some moisture tracks up along the front. That happens quite often. And we could feel that a little bit. It'll be a little bit more humid tomorrow, although it won't feel too bad. But basically dry here, and certainly to the north and west, dry. And mostly the humidity has been confined very much down to the Gulf state, right along the Gulf Coast. And so that's been kind of nice. So even as we've gotten warmer and we've had some nice sunny days, we haven't had the humidity kind of building in. And so that looks to be the same as we go through most of the weekend, this weekend, except for maybe a little bit of humidity builds tomorrow ahead of the front as it comes through. Let's take a look in terms of actual forecasts. Today, basically we'll be full sun once the fog burns off. We do have a little early morning fog, but once it happens, we'll have full sun basically today. Overnight tonight, basically clear by maybe a few clouds by tomorrow morning. By tomorrow morning, it's kind of a mix of sun and clouds. And then in the afternoon, we do look to see rain. I would say anytime after 1 o'clock or so, there's a chance of a rain. The front looks to move through probably in that 2 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon range. That's probably the best chance of rain. May linger a little bit into the early evening with a couple of showers. Not anything too dramatic. A couple of tenths of an inch of rain, probably maybe a third of an inch at the most of rain. But it will be a little bit wet tomorrow afternoon. So if you've got plans tomorrow afternoon outside, just be aware of that. I do think just about everybody sees a shower. I don't think we'd be pretty lucky to miss out on these in any one spot. I think most of us do see at least a shower, maybe a couple rounds of a couple of showers. But again, nothing too dramatic. Sunday, quite a bit cooler on the backside of the front. Definitely front means business. Temperatures in the low 60s with a mix of sun and clouds. definitely a decent amount of clouds, particularly in the afternoons. We get a little bit of heating of the day with a cool air mass aloft, and then we cool back down Sunday night into Monday, back down into the low to mid 40s for a bunch of us. Not quite as cold as like last Monday or last Monday, but chilly still. Let's take a quick look at those highlights. Very pleasant weekend. The only chance for rain comes Saturday afternoon with a few showers. Temperatures will feel like late summer today and tomorrow morning. Sunday brings a fall feel, but pleasant weather overall. And the dry pattern, like I said, looks to continue through much of next week. We'll have to see on Monday. There's a little bit of chance of some showers associated with like kind of an upper level system that comes through. But basically, after that, it looks very dry all week. And even Monday looks probably dry, but we'll just have to keep a little bit of an eye on that. Speaking of Monday, I'll have an updated look at that forecast for you. I'm getting back into our work week forecast. I'll have one out for you on Monday morning. As we get back into the twice a week forecasting mode. I do want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. They help support what I do here at the West River Weather Guy, and I appreciate all of their support. Also, if you are interested in just making sure that you can follow without being a patron, how you can support the channel, just subscribe on YouTube if you haven't done that before. It helps make sure people don't miss my videos. And if you're interested in supporting the channel and other ways, you can certainly take a look at what the options are there for being a patron. So thank you for that. Like I said, I will be back on Monday with a look at your work week